Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hallmark Movie Drafts, the monthly podcast where guest panelists are all Hallmark movie enthusiasts who love to debate, rank, and create definitive top 10 lists of Hallmark movies. It is Loveuary in the Hallmark world and the perfect time to draft the ultimate list of the 10 best Valentine's Day or Valentine's themed Hallmark movies. So happy Valentine's Day, happy Galentine's Day, happy Palentine's Day. I don't know if I made that up or not. It might already be a thing, but it's all good because love is love, and we love love here at Hallmark Movie Drafts, even if we may not love all the movies. I'm Lynn, your host, and with me as always is my dear friend and co-host, dare I say my Palantine, Erinbeth.
Hello, Lynn. It's so exciting for Valentine's Day. I I love this time of year because yes, we do love love. I get all nostalgic for remember when you were little and in school and the day came where you got to bring your shoebox to school and decorate it for all of those cute little Valentines that all your friends would bring you. And I would love to have a version of that at work where everyone just gets a craft day and we all bring in shoe boxes and we have to make for Valentine's. Do you have any special Valentine traditions?
So my husband is super romantic, is incredible at buying cards for my birthday and our anniversaries, cards that literally make me cry. For Valentine's Day, he draws a hard line there. He said Hallmark gets enough of my money. And so a couple of years ago, let me just check, back in, oh my gosh, almost 10 years ago in 2016, he had gotten me a box of chocolates. When I threw the empty box out in the trash, he evidently dug it out of the trash, cut a heart out of the red foil box, and here it is. And now just writes the dates. Can you see all the dates and the love? It just says Happy Valentine, Happy Val with my name, Times Day, love you. And it's there from 2016 on, and it said handmade by me. So that's my Valentine
I
every year.
love it.
I actually forgot that he had dug it out of the trash until I asked for his permission to let me share it with you guys. Anyway, speaking of love, I love a good mocktail. I love a good cocktail. What did you come up with for a themed bevy?
For everyone that loves all things cherry and berry, I created a very, very cherry Valentine mocktail and a sweeter than chocolate covered cherry martini. You can find both of them on the Hallmark Movie Drafts Instagram page, just in time for you to make your sweetie a themed Valentine bevy.
Oh, perfect. Those sound awesome. So, speaking of sweet themes and sweet people and Palantines, we have a fabulous guest co-host joining us today is a Hallmark Movie Drafts production team member. We're soon going to have to call her a Dr. Preschel. She loves Hallmark movies even more than she loves women's college basketball. Now, I may have that backwards. She's going to let me know right now. But I know one of those things is like first place in your heart. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hey, Lynn. Um, yeah, saying that I like Hallmark movies more than women's college basketball might be, I don't know if that's accurate. In some ways, it's kind of like a Sophie's choice for me. I don't know which one would actually be my favorite, but I
I've
love
heard
them
it
both.
both. I've heard it both ways, actually. I think I've heard it
Yeah.
both ways. If you could star in a Hallmark Valentine movie with a Hall star, which Hall star would it be and why?
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say Erin Cahill. She is just so darling and sweet, and I love her in every movie that she's in. And so I think it'd be really fun to star across her, of course.
There's an Aaron Cahill draft in 2026. I'll see if you're available and you can draft that one. Yeah,
I'll be there.
you will be there. All right. So Aaron, Beth, and Stephanie, we have an incredible panel of players, including two first-time drafters and the third place winner from the 2023 Hallmark Movie Drafts Tournament of Champions. These three people are genuinely nice. This panel chat has been going on for just about a year. This is the first time that I have seen zero smack talk in the panel. Absolutely none. Now, I'm not surprised because, as I said, these are all lovely, good-hearted people. But Aaron, Beth, and Stephanie, do you think they're going to play with love? Are they going to choose love for like the first time in HMD history?
I've seen Meredith not play with love, so I have a feeling.
Oh.
Yeah, I hope they don't play with love because that just makes it way more fun for everybody.
All right, well, let's find out. Coming up first is Meredith. Hey, Mare, how are you this morning?
I'm good.
She just called you out.
I know. See, Ernie's so nice that I can't bear the thought of being mean to him. And I haven't really met Alicia aside from seeing her posts on Facebook, so I don't know what to expect. We'll
You
see.
know,
Maybe I'll get mean halfway through.
maybe. This is actually, I was looking through my notes the other day, and as I said, you were the third place finisher in the championship. I personally think you got robbed. No offense to Mary and Dan. You had a great list. It was very creative. You did the best that you could with what you had to work with that was left over. But this is honestly the last time that you draft was February 2024. So the same month last year in the All Star mashup.
Oh,
So,
that's right.
so it's been a full year. So my question to you is, what have you done to prepare and train for this draft?
I think everyone in the Facebook chat knows I haven't done as much as I should have because I watched in the last 18 hours, I watched 6 of these movies, some of them on double speed. And like I told you, I'm pretty sure that's what it feels like to have a stroke.
Yes.
But I'm here. I'm a survivor.
She did, listeners. She sent me a text. I literally practically fell out of my chair. I did one of those spit takes, drinking my seltzer water. So good luck today, Meredith. I have confidence in you. You're a pro at
Thank
this.
you.
Okay. Next up is someone that I'm super excited about to have on the panel. He's only the second male double-decker to draft on HMD who isn't a professional podcaster, or at least not yet. We've had Dan, Bran, Brian, and Ryan from the Deck the Hallmark podcast. They're all podcast pros, and we love them. Thaddeus was the first male double-decker to step up to the drafting plate, Dr. Thaddeus. He's drafting again in the Nikki DeLoach draft in April. So we are truly honored to have you here joining the fun. Show the guys how it's done. Welcome to HMD, Jersey's own, Ernie Delli Santi. No pressure here, Ernie, no pressure.
Well, thank you guys for inviting me. I'm very excited. I've been talking about this so much to colleagues and friends and my wife that she is very happy that I am downstairs not talking more about this in front of her. Well, she can go watch some of her, I don't know, myriad of cop movies or whatever she likes to watch there. So I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Well, we've been looking forward to it too. You've actually had an incredible year in 2024. You did a big career change. Tell us
Yeah.
about what your new career is and your new company.
Well, for 25 years, I was in the transportation business, and I figured since I'm kind of moving away from that, let's keep transporting people, but let's bring them to their vacations and family special trips. As you guys know, I am a parent of a special needs child, so I love traveling. Jody loves driving and traveling. We've had some very exciting and wonderful trips, and I wanted to pass some of that knowledge along to people and just help make their memories special too. So I started my own travel agency called Delli Santi Destinations. We do just about everything. We do cruises, family trips, theme parks, all that good stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding for me. Hopefully, I'll get to use some of my perks in the next couple months as Joey turns 18 and next year's my 50th. We're starting to plan a big trip for that too.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. How can people find your travel agency? Do you have a website? Do you have an email? What's the best way
I'm
to reach
on a
you?
couple different platforms, all under Delli Santi Destinations, DelliSanti. My email is hello at DelliSantiDestinations.com, or you can look at DelliSantiDestinations.com website.
Awesome. Listeners, I'll be sure to put Ernie's name in the listener show notes so that you know how to spell it. It's all there and point you in the right direction for Delli Santi Destinations. So, Ernie, before I move on to our third person, since you are representing all of mankind here,
Oh,
weigh
great.
in.
No pressure.
Husbands around I can't just say husbands of America because we have listeners in 42 countries. Tell us how you feel about Valentine's Day.
Until I got married, it was just a day for me to go on the 15th and get discounted chocolate and candy and stuff. Since I've been married, it's, taken a little turn. I'm very lucky. Steph, my wife, is a very big women's basketball fan as well. I actually got her for Valentine's Day one year tickets to the NCAA regionals, which was in New Jersey. She lived in Minnesota, grew up in Minnesota, so she's a Lynx fan. So we go to their games. I think I'm more of a romantic than she is. Now that we're married, it is required that I get her something. And not only from me, it's got to be a card from me, a card from my son, a gift from me, and a gift from my son.
It's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it is. But for me, personally, I can take it or leave it. We also met around this time too, so I get away with going on an anniversary date because we met on February 7th. So I get a little lucky there too.
Wow. So February is a big month for you. And don't worry, Ernie, I'm not going to edit all of that out to just the part where it says, I can take it or leave it.
It's fine if you do.
I wouldn't do that. Would I do that to you? No, no, I wouldn't. It might be a sound clip on Instagram. You never know.
Let's see how the draft goes.
Let's see.
I might be in
Exactly.
trouble here.
And finally, our third panelist is no stranger to the world of Hallmark movies. She wrote 2022's film Perfect Harmony that stars James Denton and Sherry Somm. She was my co-host for the Allison Sweeney draft when Erinbeth was on that drafting panel, but this is her very first time drafting with states. Welcome back, Alicia Lomas-Gross.
Thank you for having me. And when you mentioned about your husband and the giving you cards, at first I thought you said carbs. And I thought, oh, that's a great Valentine's gift too.
Great gift.
I would love carbs. Oh my gosh, yes. Hallmark carbs would be awesome. Alicia, every time you and I talk, and we talk a lot, we chat a lot, I always ask you if you're working on another movie, script for Hallmark. When you were on for Allison Sweeney, you said you were in progress of something with your writing. Can you give us an update? What can you share with us?
Yeah, I don't remember what I said for Allison. I have written a draft for another movie, but don't know where that is in the process. I don't believe it's been shot yet. And then I'm pitching, meeting, and generally writing. But yes, I have looking at different projects with a couple different Hallmark producers right now. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, she's being very, very closed-mouthed about it, but I understand. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed.
Well, I have to. The contracts say you can't say anything until, yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to get you in trouble. Okay, so good luck in the match today, everybody. Let's shift into gameplay mode. If this is your first time listening, you can pause here and listen to the Hallmark Movie Drafts intro show first. That's where I go over the rules and the format in more depth, or just keep listening and you'll probably pick it up quickly. Eligibility for this draft: to be eligible, the movie storyline has to have a Valentine's or a Valentine's Day theme and has to have aired on Hallmark's analog channels, all Hallmark Plus, their streaming platform. So it's 19 movies as of today, including last week's An Unexpected Valentine with Lacey Chabert and Robert Buckley. You can see the full list of titles on our Instagram and Letterboxd. The links to the HMD socials are in the show notes. So let's talk drafting positions for this match. There are 3 of them, A, B, and C. Drafter C picks positions 10, 7, and 3 on the list and gets one veto card and one veto override card. Drafter B picks positions 9, 6, 4, and 2. Drafter B gets only one veto because that position gets one more pick than everybody else. And Drafter A picks positions 8, 5, and the number 1 position on the list. They get one veto card and a bonus veto. So basically, they get to pick the number 1 movie and 2 veto cards to use as well. Meredith, you're actually coming into this match with 2 leftover veto overrides. Those things are so hard to get rid of. I don't know if you might have them for life. You can't redeem them for anything, but good luck today if you need to use them. How do we decide who gets to be drafter A, B, or C? That's where Erinbeth and Stephanie come in. They're going to go over the trivia rules and then test your knowledge with a round of trivia questions related to the eligible movies. Just keep in mind that the first person to answer one question correctly gets to choose whether they want to be drafter A, B, or C. The second person to answer a question correctly gets to choose their position, and the third person gets whatever it is that's left over. But if you win the trivia round, then you're first up in the veto order for every round. You're the first person to declare whether or not you agree with a pick or if you're going to veto it. So I've talked long enough and fast enough. I'm going to turn it over to Erinbeth and Stephanie to do the trivia round. Good luck, everybody.
All right, so we have 3 rules, and here they are. You cannot answer until we have finished asking the question. No jumping in before either Stephanie or I have finished speaking. As soon as we finish asking the question, raise your Zoom hand, and we will call on you. Then you can give your answer. We will tell you if you're right or wrong. If you're wrong, you cannot guess again until the other drafters have made a guess. If no one knows the answer, no hints or clues will be given. We'll just move on to another question. Does anybody have any questions? No? Well, then Stephanie and I have some for you. So Stephanie, take it away with question number 1.
Okay, friends. First question. Name the actor or actress with the most Valentine's movies.
Ernie, you were quick in there.
I want to say, I think it's actually Sam Page.
You are correct. Lynn and her heart hands, hashtag justice for Sam Page.
Yes, yes, yes.
I have to say, I wrote that question as a throw-in right at the end before we finished because I wanted to give Lynn a Sam Page question.
Love you, Erinbeth. Thank you.
All right. So Ernie, you take some time, deliberate over those 3 drafting positions and decide which one you want because you get first pick. Alicia and Meredith, you're still in the mosh pit fighting it out for second and third. So we're going to go on with question number 2. In Valentine's Again, Nikki Whelan and Greg Vaughn groundhog their way through the Valentine's Day. What does Nikki's dog bring her every morning? There's like faces there. Alicia.
The TV remote.
That is correct. Good job, guys. That was fast. So, Alicia, you will pick second, and Meredith, whatever they leave you, you get full on pick of that. So, Dawn,
Great.
right back to you, Lynn.
Meredith, is just like the championship from 2023 all over again with the randomizer always bringing your name up last. You can do this.
It's all good.
It's all
I'll work with
good.
what I got.
Exactly. All right. So, Ernie, which position would you like? Drafter A, B, or C?
I think I'm going to go with drafter B.
Ernie has chosen drafter B. So that means that he gets picks 9, 6, 4, and 2. So he's going to have more picks than anybody else, but he only gets one veto. Ernie, you're going to be first up in the veto order every time that you're not making a pick. So Alicia, would you like to be drafter C or drafter A?
Drafter A.
Alicia is going with drafter A. She looks like she wants that number 1 pick. She gets 8, 5, and 1, and she gets 2 bonus vetoes. Oh my gosh, Meredith, look what they did to you. You are drafter C. You get picks 10, 7, and 3, so you're going to kick off the list. You get 1 veto You have one veto override that comes with that position, and you've got your two leftover veto overrides, as if you weren't swimming in overrides enough as it is. I don't think I don't think you're ever going to get rid of these. Good luck. Good luck. Okay. Stephanie and Erinbeth and I have a side hustle going on. We've each put together our own list of 10 movies that we felt were the best. We exchanged them before we started recording, and whichever one of us has the most titles that appear on your final draft list wins nothing, just bragging rights. And trust me, Aaron, Beth, and Stephanie and I love to talk smack. So, we consider that there's stakes here. So there it is. All right, Meredith, let's get this match started. What would you like to offer up for the 10th best Hallmark Valentine or Valentine themed movie?
Okay. I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but there were a lot of very good movies in this crop. I watched this movie while I was polishing the floors in my house. I know it's a classic, but number 10 for me is My Secret Valentine.
Secret Valentine from 2018. That's Andrew Walker and Lacey Chabert. Lacey plays a young woman that takes advice from a chalkboard notes that her mysterious house rental tenant, that's Andrew, leaves. Yeah, I have thoughts on this movie, but I would rather hear why you like this movie at number 10, Meredith.
Yeah, this one for me falls in the category of basic Hallmark elevated. Elevated by the leads. Obviously, Lacey and Andrew are top tier, very good, and they're good together. And I was under the impression, mistakenly, that Lacey Chabert really only got funny on Hallmark with Haul Out the Holly. But she has some good, she has some humorous moments in this movie, and so does Andrew. But it's definitely good enough to be top 10. It's classic, it's lovable. I just think they're a good pairing. No pun intended. So I think it's a solid 10.
You might be right. This movie was drafted ninth out of the best 11 Andrew Walker draft back in September 2022, our very first draft ever. And that was drafted by Jillian, Dan, and Emily, aka Mrs. Walker. So, I don't think you're too far off here, but let's see what Ernie thinks about this. Ernie, My Secret Valentine. Do you like this for number 10? What do you think of this movie?
I actually have this a little bit higher. I think the movie is elevated greatly by Andrew Walker and Lacey Chabert. Like Meredith said, it's standard Hallmark. I enjoy watching these two leads go at it together, and yeah, I think it's okay here. It's fine. I'm not going to use my one veto here, but yeah, I'm good.
Ernie's good. What about you, Alicia?
I really like this movie. I had it higher up as well, but I'm not gonna waste a veto on it. I loved the chalkboard messages. I thought they were funny. I appreciated that Lacey's father is appropriately old enough to be her father. Sometimes that's not the case. I thought there was good banter. It was kind of frisky at times. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I think I did on the Allison Sweeney draft. Someone on Twitter once tweeted about how, I don't know if it's the most important thing about a romantic comedy, but one good thing that you need to have is a male lead who looks at his female lead. And Andrew Walker looks at Lacey really well. I didn't quite buy why the characters didn't figure it out. I thought that was a little bit, you have to just buy into it that it's Hallmark. But yeah, I really like this one, but I wish it were higher, but I'm not gonna waste a veto on that.
Everyone is being saved. Congratulations, Meredith. You have My Secret Valentine locked in at number 10. It got some really glowing reviews here. Not only can you clean your floors to it, but you can all gaze into Andrew Walker's eyes. Stephanie, do you have any thoughts on My Secret Valentine? Do you like that movie?
I do like this movie quite a bit. I love the pairing of Lacey and Andrew, and I think too, just it feels like baby Andrew Walker at this point. He feels so young in this one. I had watched it a long time ago and then rewatched it for this, and I don't know, he just seems even more charming than I remembered, and so I just think it's a really sweet movie.
Yeah. Okay, Ernie, you are next for number 9. What movie do you think you would like to place there?
I am gonna go with Valentine Ever After.
Valentine Ever After 2016. It's Eric Johnson as Ben. Autumn Reeser is Julia. Chicago City socialite besties Julia and Sydney head off on a road trip and end up having a car accident on a back road in rural Wyoming. They're rescued by Ben, a cute cowboy on a horse, who offers to put them up for a night at his family's ranch while their car is being repaired. Naturally, they head out to a local bar with Ben, and a bar fight ensues. Property gets damaged accidentally, and these out-of-town city girls are forced to serve 30 days of community service, which ultimately ends up being at Ben's family ranch. Oh, what a coincidence. I could go on and on about this movie, but let's just say there are a lot of thirsty single cowgirls, a cowboy auction as a fundraiser, life lessons are learned, life goals shift, and the town's population increases by one. Ernie, tell us why you love this movie at number 9.
There are a few actresses in the Hallmark world that when their movie comes on, I have to watch. And Autumn Reeser is one of them. I love just her best friend in this movie. I love the fact that Hallmark at this point is trying to, show an influencer and not really doing very well, but it's got the comic relief that lets it atone for it. It's a nice, cozy movie. Autumn Reeser is not a aloof, or she's very smart. She knows what she wants. She knows what she's going for with this, and I love that. I need an Autumn Reeser movie on here.
That's those are all good reasons. Autumn Reese's character, Julia, she has Gavin, that's her city slicker fiance, and he shows up at the ranch as well. So there's some there are attention points there too. Hall star Dylan Neal co-wrote the script. So I think that can account for a lot of the warmth and the feelings that come out in this. This movie was ranked ninth in the Autumn Reeser draft by Jen, Sarah, and Aaron Rempe. Good job for this for number 9. So it seems to be consistent. Let's see if Alicia agrees that it should stay here at number 9.
Yeah, another one that I had a little bit higher up, but again, it's early. I know I have two vetoes, but I don't know that I want to use one of them yet. Like Ernie was saying, it works well. I mean, he wasn't saying that it's a ridiculous premise, but for me, it's a ridiculous premise. But Autumn Reeser and the co-star Vanessa Matsu, they're so charming, and I really think they make it. You were saying it's Dylan Neal like co-wrote it, but also I don't know that I've ever seen an Alan Smithy, or in this case, Elena Smithy credit. That's um normally it's directors, but writers can use it too where they don't want to be associated with it. So that's the fake credit they give Alan Smithy or Elena Smithy. So I was intrigued by that. A note I had in here is that she leaves behind the city not because it sucks, but which is kind of like an unusual choice for these movies. So yeah, I really liked it. I'll keep it.
She likes cowboys. What can you say? The heart wants what the heart wants. Meredith, what does your heart want? Does your heart want Valentine Ever After to stay at number 9?
It does. It's also my number 9. Yeah, I remember starting it. I'd never watched it, and I watched it on normal speed, so that helps. But I was like, oh, this is gonna be a lame movie. But it was great. I mean, I was surprised. And the leading guy, I don't remember seeing him in another Hallmark movie. I thought he was really good. He was really refreshing. And yeah, Autumn is always great. So I'm very happy with this placement.
Eric Johnson, yeah, he did a really great job. It's number 4 on my personal list, which means absolutely nothing. So I'm just thrilled that it's on here. Erinbeth, what do you think of Valentine Ever After?
There were several movies that did not end up in my top 10, but moved their way in and out and in and out. I told Lynn and Stephanie yesterday that there was one movie I had to rewatch just to see if I was going to move it in, and it was this one. And it was hard. This one was hard. It ended up being 11. So I liked it. It's cute. It's funny. I laughed through it. So I'm glad it's on here, even though it doesn't get me a point for bragging rights.
It's all right. Gives me a point. I'm happy.
You're happy.
Alicia, can you make me even happier? What movie do you want to play at number 8?
I would like to play The Lost Valentine.
Ah, The Lost Valentine. We're going way back to 2011. This is a uh, Hallmark Hall of Fame movie. It stars Jennifer Love Hewitt as Susan. Betty White, oh, R.I.P. Betty White, is Caroline. Sean Ferris is Lucas. So, Alicia, you were the perfect person to say, what is this movie about and why is it a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie?
I really liked it. It's I military movies don't necessarily like get me. I'm kind of skeptical, but this one like got me. Like I cried at the end. I didn't feel it was over the top cheesy, over the top pro military. It was just telling an honest story about this woman, going back to the train station where she was supposed to meet her husband and then finding out, what really happened to him. And yeah, even though I felt like Jennifer Love Hewitt's hair was like another character, I really thought that all the performances were great. A lot of these Hallmark movies, and I know why they do it because to create an obstacle between the two love interests, but a little bit too much with the, flirting and kind of getting frisky with the love interest when she really has a boyfriend. So I didn't like that part. But yeah, the ending got me. I cried. I thought it was a good Valentine's, like on theme for Valentine's. I thought everyone did a great job.
Yeah, I cried too. It's a beautiful movie. It's just so poignant to see her, going back year after year to the station and everything else. And I won't spoil the ending, but Ernie, what do you think of The Lost Valentine? It is a Hallmark Hall of Fame, but not everybody enjoys those movies. What do you think?
Alicia, you put me in a really tight position right here because I only have one veto, and this is much higher on my list. I mean, is for me, this is like real movie territory. Betty White is just amazing, and not the Betty White that everybody thinks of, which just goes to show how underappreciated I think she is in the pantheon of American actresses. I mean, she's just unbelievable. It is the only movie on this list that made me cry. It is the only movie that I will not rewatch as well. I did not rewatch this movie because there are certain scenes in this movie that just indelibly are stuck in my mind. And I watched this probably 5, 6 years ago when I was on my Hallmark binge of trying to complete all the movies. I'm not there yet. Oh God.
I know it's tough, right?
Mm. There's so many other ones that I'm a little afraid of because there are a couple certain movies that I am probably going to wreck my room if they are on this list. But
And
oh,
listeners, as
I
Ernie's trying to decide, I just want you to know that when Ernie first said that Alicia put him in a tough spot, she has her mic muted, but she was laughing her head off, first of all. And she still is.
I
What do
kind of
you
knew it. Like I figured I'm not doing a lot of thinking about what other people are going to choose, but I was like, people are probably going to have this like higher ranked, but
Mhm.
I don't.
Oh, all right.
know?
I'm gonna have to sit back and just watch for the rest of the drafts because I am going to veto this.
Ernie is going to veto. He's going to use his one veto here. Obviously, he's implying that he wants to play it higher up on the list. Anyone can play it again. Meredith, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't offer you, the person with 3 veto overrides in her pocket, if you would like to veto override Ernie's veto at number 8 of The Lost Valentine.
No, I'm glad he saved me a veto because I was going to have to veto this one too. I feel that the three of us are probably going to be agreed on what movies are in the top three, not necessarily the order, but because of that, I don't mind. I wasn't going to mind if this movie got vetoed. And yeah, I think this movie just needs to be a little higher. So
Needs to be a little higher. Okay,
thank you
so
for sacrificing your veto, Ernie.
All in the cause, all for the cause.
so everyone else will get a chance to talk about this movie when Ernie plays it again. So Alicia, what are you going to pick as your replacement pick for The Lost Valentine at number 8?
Hmm. I'm gonna pick one that maybe out of left field, Be My Valentine.
Be My Valentine, 2013. William Baldwin is Dan, Natalie Brown is Kate. When Kate's flower shop has a small fire, she meets Dan, the town's fire chief. Dan's a widower and father to Tyler. Kate and Dan start to date. Romance is in the air, but then Kate's former boyfriend turns up, having regretted that he left Kate. At the same time, Tyler falls in love with Rebecca at school and seeks his father's advice in love matters. Tell us why you love this movie, Be My Valentine, Alicia.
I thought that, people who haven't been in too many Hallmark movies, I don't think Billy Baldwin's been in another one. Natalie Brown was in one with James Denton, and they were both really good in that one. And I just really like her. I think she's a great lead. I thought she and Billy Baldwin had great chemistry. Normally, I'm not much of a fan of little kids having their own love story, but I thought this was cute enough. I thought the father-son dynamic wasn't too cutesy. I just thought they had great chemistry, and I don't know, it's a typical Hallmark movie, but it's like Ernie said, but elevated, and I think it's elevated than a lot more other movies, so that's why I chose it at number 8.
Well, those are good reasons. Ernie, you don't have a veto anymore, but we still want to know your thoughts on this movie.
Just push me to the back and let everybody else, do their things. But no, this one, again, I didn't rewatch for this either. But I do remember watching it, and I kind of have the same thoughts as Alicia. I like Natalie Brown more than I like William Baldwin in this, but it's a standard Hallmark movie for me. Their chemistry is pretty good. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, not exactly ringing endorsements yet, but so far no vetoes. So, Meredith, it's up to you. Be My Valentine. Does this movie deserve to be on the list? Does it deserve to be at number 8?
I feel conflicted. This movie made me mad. It's in my bottom two. It had a lot of I'm not like other girls vibes in it. Like, you're good at baseball, or you do taekwondo, or you read books. And I was just like, "Ugh." So I mean, it was different than the like basic 2010 to 2016 Hallmark, which was nice. But yeah, I just didn't like it. So I'm trying to decide if I care enough, given how far down on my list it is, to veto it. Because number 8 is tricky.
Stephanie and Erinbeth, number 8 is usually where when someone's in a dilemma about whether or not they want to veto and they don't veto, when we get to 3 and 2, they look back with regret, right? You're the only one who can decide, Meredith. What do
I'm
you
just
think?
looking at the other ones that are not in my top 10, and do I hate any of those more? Would I be more mad? Mm, I'm just gonna risk it. I don't know. I'm sorry, Alicia. People have vetoed me twice in a row before too. I'm gonna veto this one. It's not personal.
It is.
That's fine. I'll trust me. I've got 2 vetoes. I can do some damage later on.
Meredith is
Yep, when they're
vetoing
playing
Alicia.
with love.
They really are.
It's
I
full
just,
of love. I can feel it.
Didn't you say we were all nice people before?
well, she Meredith is one of the nicest vetoers ever. She's always so apologetic. She phrases things beautifully. Um, and she has been vetoed twice in a row before, so she knows how it feels. So Alicia is looking down, trying to figure things out. While you do that, Stephanie, did you watch Be My Valentine again? Do you have thoughts on this movie?
Yeah, I watched it for the first time for this. And It wasn't as low as it was for Meredith for me. But I also didn't love it either. It was okay. I like that it was a little bit different than what we've seen historically in that time frame for Hallmark, but I didn't love the kids' storyline. And similar to Meredith, I didn't like the like, oh my gosh, girls can read, girls can like do sports. This is amazing. Like, what a novel idea. So, yeah, this one didn't really do it for me.
I took it completely differently. I thought he was excited that she liked things he liked, not that she was a girl and couldn't do it.
Oh, okay.
I every time he said it, I thought it was like, oh, this girl likes something I like.
Okay,
I'm
that sounds way better than how I experienced the movie.
watch it
So,
again it with my little rose-colored glasses where everyone loves
okay.
everybody and nobody ever offends.
Okay.
I'm, how are you doing over there, Alicia?
Does anybody else who has vetoes aside from me?
Nobody.
Um,
Just you. No.
this is going to be wild.
Meredith
All
has all those
right.
fun overrides. She can still override you, Alicia.
She can.
Um, uh,
Wow.
Playing Cupid.
Playing Cupid. Okay, here we go. This will stay on the list at number 8. Playing Cupid 2021. It's Laura Vandervoort is Carrie. Nicholas Gonzalez is David. This movie is based on a novel by Jenny Meyerhoff. It was written by Nina Weinman. Newly single middle school teacher Carrie is covertly set up with a divorced dad, David, after his daughter, who's one of her students, begins a matchmaking business for a school project that she's assigned to in her class. And there's a Nina Weinman draft coming up in August of this year, not even next year or 2027. It's this year. So, Alicia, you don't even have to justify this. Playing Cupid is on the list, but tell us why you like this movie.
I thought it was, standard Hallmark, but elevated. I thought Nicholas Gonzalez was great. He's very sexy. Should be in more. As we established in the Allison Sweeney draft, I'm a Jane Austen lover, member of Jane Austen reading groups and associations. And this is no like, it is what it is. It doesn't really deliver on the Emma premise being a retelling of Emma. The only thing is she's a matchmaker, but there's so much more to Emma than Emma being a matchmaker. I just liked it. I'm Mexican American, so I like, those aspects of integrating the culture. I will disagree that the most cheesy or greasy like menu item would be like a mole burrito. I would say carne asada fries. Like, come on. That's my biggest disagreement with this movie. Overall, I thought it was funny, witty. I didn't think like any of the conflicts were crazy. I thought they were pretty realistic and grounded. And yeah, I like it. It's
All,
solid.
all good reasons. Okay, Playing Cupid, it is at number 8. Ernie, what do you think of this movie? It's staying there, but we have a long way to go, and we
We
want
got
to
a
hear from
long, it's
you.
gonna be a long afternoon. This
It's
is
a it's Alicia's world, and we're all
yes, this is
just
all
living in it.
Alicia, you really got number 8 right to us. This is full disclosure, I have not liked Nicholas Gonzalez when he was on The Good Doctor. So when he was on here, I just there's something. Look, is he a good-looking guy? Yeah, but there's something with his tone and stuff that just kind of off-puts me. I do agree that the writing is smart. I like Laura Vandervoort. Um, the kid's okay, but I did not have this on my list.
No, no. Meredith, you didn't have this on your list either. What are your feelings here? Let them out.
Yeah, I didn't have it on my list, but it's higher than Be My Valentine, so that makes it better. Plus, my 6 to 8 are a little bit, I feel doubtful about them anyway, so I don't mind this being here. It was cute. It made me hungry. Again, I watched it at 1.5 speed, so it was a little bit wild, but I'm okay. I'm okay with this.
You're okay with this. All right. Well, I'm glad you're okay with it because guess what? We're gonna rocket our way to number seven now, and it's your turn to make a pick. What are you gonna offer up for number seven to sit above playing Cupid?
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know. Okay. My number seven surprised me. It was the last one I watched, and I was like, it's gonna be lame. It's not gonna be on my list. But it's The Secret Ingredient with Erin Cahill and Brendan Penny.
The Secret Ingredient from 2020. Brendan Penny is so fantastic. I love him. Erin Cahill is one of my favorites. I see Steph is smiling as well. Um, So, small town baker Kelly gets a big surprise when she's invited to compete on a Valentine's Day baking show in New York City. And an even bigger surprise when she runs into her ex-fiance, that's Andrew Walker. Little do they know, they're both contestants on the same Valentine's Day bake-off. But what will happen when Andrew leaves for Paris at the end of the competition? This movie was ranked number 4 in the 10 best Brendan Penny Hallmark movie drafts in March of 2024 with Christine, Thaddeus, and Emily, aka Mrs. Walker. Brendan Penny, is he on the line, Erin Beth?
Oh, he is. Hold on one second.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
draft.
He
Yeah.
just dropped off. He said he had to go do something.
I think Meredith got him on the line once, right? Hi, Meredith. Tell us why you want
Yeah.
to place this movie at number 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think the premise is a little more unique than the average Hallmark. It's still kind of in the standard category, but the premise is fun, and I think they actually did a good job with like the competition filming scenes. It felt like, yeah, I've seen these on the Food Network or whatever, and it felt real. And then it was cute that they didn't know, and I thought their chemistry was nice. The movies that tend to do better for me are the ones where I have lower expectations. So that was the case for this movie, and it was the case for pre-2022 Brandon Penny. I just kind of assumed it was only in Merry Measure that he really was elevated in my mind, but he did a good job.
He's great, and he was in the it was one of his most recent ones, like the Danube movie or something. He was in a Christmas movie too, in a bookstore or something like that.
I
All
think it's
right.
Dune Bay, but yeah, close enough.
Hey, I always get, my pronunciation is so off sometimes. Doombe it is. Okay, the secret ingredient is at number 7. Only Alicia can stop it, but before we get to her, we're gonna get to Ernie. Ernie, what do you think of this movie, The Secret Ingredient? Andrew Walker, Erin Cahill.
Well, speaking of Doomsday, as soon as we saw those movies, I looked and see, you know what? They actually do have cruises on the Doomsday River. This one barely missed my top 10. I love Erin Cahill. She is one of those people that I think if you met in real life would be one of your best friends. And I had this on my top 10 for a long time, and then it just kind of fell off. I am not unhappy it's here.
Ernie is happy. Alicia, are you going to crush Ernie's happiness with this? Are you going to leave The Secret Ingredient at number 7? Or are you going to
I'm
play?
unhappy it's here, and but I don't know that I can waste one of my two vetoes at the number 7 position. Yeah, I love Erin Cahill. I have it on good authority. She's lovely. Um, and she has that, she and like Lacey Chabert, they have that very sweet charm, but it's not saccharine at all. So I really like her. And I like Brendan Penny, but like Meredith was saying, pre in Merry Measures, he's fine in this.
You're the one with
That's
all
all
the
I'll say.
power and influence. You're going to
I
leave it?
will I will leave it. I'm not happy about it. Yeah. And
Oh,
I just think it's funny, like with different people, the way they like different things is funny. And that's why in the double decker group, I always think it's funny when someone asks, should I watch this? Or like, what movies do you think I should watch? And it just blows my mind because I would never ask that. And it's not that I don't value other people's opinions. It's that how do you know what I like? Like, I like what I like. I could never skip a movie entrusting someone else to like that opinion. Like, I don't know. I just think it's funny. Ernie and Meredith could tell me, oh, it's great. And I'd be watching a movie like, what were you like watching? So
that's crazy. Aaron Beth, this movie was on your personal list. Why do you like Secret Ingredient?
It it was my number one on my Brendan Penny draft list. And I had never seen it before the Brendan. I know Alicia looks at me like, what?
Alicia's
It's what
horrified.
it is what you just said. I had never seen it before, the Brendan Penny draft, and I watched it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this was the best movie. I loved this movie. I mean, it's not as high on my list for this draft, but I did. I thought it was fun, it was funny, it was engaging. I'm happy with it here.
I think it's hilarious. One of the joys of being the host of the show is that I get to see everyone's list. I get to see the players list, I get to see the co-host list and everything else. Not a single person has the secret ingredient on a list.
Right.
And
I'm
yet here it is at number 7 on the
and
official list.
and as the person that's scoring, I'm very confused.
And we move on. It is still Alicia's world, and we are still all living in it. But Ernie, you're the one for number 6. I cannot wait to see what you are going to play. While you're thinking, I'll just do a state of the list really quickly. At number 10, we have My Secret Valentine. At 9, Valentine Ever After. At 8, Playing Cupid. At 7, The Secret Ingredient. And at number 6, Ernie, what's it going to be?
I'm gonna go with Valentine's again.
A time loop movie, Groundhog's Day, from 2021. Nikki Whalen is Kat, Greg Vaughn is Danny. Florist Danny enjoys delivering all over town in person. To witness bouquets bringing joy, advertising executive Catherine, obsessed with her job, is on her way home after a bad, romance-free Valentine's Day when she consults a gypsy. On top of the prediction to finally meet the right man, she gets a spell. It's a time loop to relive that day until she actually notices and bonds with Mr. Right. I wonder who Mr. Right is going to be. I don't know. Ernie, why do you like Valentine's again?
This one snuck up on me. I was prepared to just go, all right, I don't need to watch this one. It's fine. I love Nikki Whelan in this. She is just, I mean, truthfully, I can go and watch this one again right now. And seeing Marina Sirtis, it doesn't hurt. I'm a big Star Trek Next Generation fan, so seeing her in there was good too. But I just had fun with this movie. I know it's the Groundhog Day thing, and it didn't get tired to me, and it was fun and it was funny, and I just had such a good time with this movie.
I think time loop movies are so fun. They are my favorite trope, hands down. Alicia, you're the only one who can veto this. You are first up in the veto order because Ernie played this movie. What do you think of Valentine's again at number 6?
I love it. I had it higher up, but I'm not gonna um veto it to on the off chance it could get higher. I thought it was great. I had seen it before, so this was a rewatch. I thought the female lead, Nikki Whelan, she's great, and I thought she's very, I'll use a sanitized word, very frisky for a Hallmark character. I love that. We don't often see
What
um
what is the unsanitized word you would use? Just whisper it. It's just
horny.
us. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty sanitized, but I don't know. She's very horny, so I like
Just
that.
horny.
I love, like you said, I love time slip movies. Greg Vaughn is dreamy. I've mentioned that in the Alison Sweeney draft. Like he's another, he looks at his female leads well. I wish he was in more. I liked that it ended on them just getting to know each other because I don't know if people will play a different movie in this draft that where it just goes relationship goes from 0 to 60. So I just liked that it was just an open-ended, start to a relationship. And yeah, there's a missing 10 minutes, and I wonder where that is because it's 10 minutes shorter than most movies, and it was supposed to air at a couple years earlier, and the 10 minutes was trimmed. So I'm very curious where that 10 minutes went. So yeah,
Maybe
I
it
want
was
to
the
keep it.
maybe it was the Hallmark After Dark horny part that got cut out,
Probably.
which
I mean, it wouldn't
should be on
surprise me.
Hallmark Plus. It should be on Hallmark Plus, those 10 minutes. You never know. All right. So great. So Valentine's again is staying at number 6. Mare, what do you think of this movie? Do you like time loop movies in general?
get too in my head about how someone would have a mental breakdown if they actually experienced this, time travel or a time loop. And so sometimes that takes me out of the movie. But she seems okay. This movie was number 6 for me, and then I moved it off my list because it started to bother me. But I'm full of self-doubt, so it's okay. It's me, not you. But Nikki Whelan was good, and her hair was great, and there were dogs, and this placement doesn't make me mad, so that's okay.
Oh, I'm so bummed for you because that would have been 2 points. 1 point for it being on the final list and an extra point for being in the right position. Um, my birthday is actually Groundhog's Day, thus my affinity for the time loops. Stephanie, are you a fan of time loop movies?
Time loop movies either really work for me or similar to Meredith, where I'm just like, I can't watch this. This is like painful. But I do really like this movie. I would just echo kind of what's already been said. I was really glad though in the time loop when she finally realized that trying to sell cat food for boy cats and cat food for girl cats was a ridiculous idea. When that happened, I was like, yes, we are there. So I really appreciate that she got to that point as well.
You kind of wonder how she got that job, actually, with that kind of strategy. Alicia, before you get to number 5, if you could star in a Hallmark Valentine movie with any Hall star, who would you start with and why? Since it's your world here at Hallmark Movie Drafts, the Valentine's edition.
I would choose Steve Lund. I think
Oh,
he's hilarious, and
right.
I write romantic comedies. I like the funnier Hallmark movies. I think he's great. I think he's kind of frisky. He's got a little bit, not of like a bad boy, but he's just, he's got that look in his eye that's not just like saccharine sweet. Like there's an edge there. So that's why I would choose Steve Lund.
Ernie, Meredith, Stephanie, Erinbeth. She just said frisky, and didn't she just a few minutes ago say that frisky was like the clean version of horny? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
I think
are.
so.
You have a great memory, Lynn.
Thank
Yes,
you.
that is exactly what she said.
I think that's what she said. So, all right.
I feel like they're
Whoa.
different words in different contexts. I don't know that I would,
I-
uh, yeah.
No, I think you should just stop talking on that line because we're seeing you in a whole new light, Alicia. Save
She's like,
yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Save yourself. What are you going to play at number 5? We are halfway through this list. You are the only one with veto power. So whatever you play here is going to be on it. Um, lay it
I
on us.
am going to choose an unexpected Valentine.
Oh, okay. So, An Unexpected Valentine. This is brand new. It just aired a couple of weeks ago. It's Lacey Chabert as Hannah, Robert Buckley is Finn. There's a chance encounter on Valentine's Day that bring Hannah and Finn together as they race through New York City to return a lost engagement ring and save one couple's very special day. Tell us why you like this movie at number 5.
I always love comedy Lacey. I prefer that to any other Lacey Chabert. Robert Buckley, I think, is great. He always is. I think he's great at comedy too. I loved a couple of years ago from Joie Botkin, the writer, him and I forgot who the female lead. It was about a home shopping network. It's like a totally ridiculous, like you wouldn't think it works, but it works because he's great and the story is great. And yeah. I love a real-time story. I've pitched Love and Story, yes. I've pitched real-time stories before. I love that idea. It was low stakes, but super fun. And I just thought it was fun and romantic. I like the slow dance on the street. I really liked it.
Oh, Stephanie comes in with a love in store. So, Stephanie, I'm going to ask you your thoughts on this movie when we get through Ernie and Meredith as well. Okay, Ernie, An Unexpected Valentine. Did you like this movie? It is number 5 on the list for sure.
It was an unexpected delight for me. Jody and I usually watch these movies together, and we just got busy. So I had to watch it on my own. And I went upstairs after I watched it and I said, you need to watch this movie. I agree with you. Bunny Lacey is great. I'm so glad they're letting her do it more. I love the Robert Buckley and the Christmas House movies and all the stuff he's done since. I think he is going to be a rising male lead at Hallmark, and he's going to be, if they don't mess it up, he's going to be in the pantheon, in a few years of great Hallmark male leads. Yeah, I am ecstatic that this is on the list.
Oh, I hope people at Hallmark are listening to you because I would love to see him in so many more Hallmark movies. Meredith, what did you think of An Unexpected Valentine?
This movie was wonderful. I loved it. I think it was actually somehow the first Robert Buckley movie I'd seen, and he's really funny, and I thought the banter was believable. It's much higher on my list. I can't do anything about that, but it was really wonderful, and it's one of the few movies where I said, I want to watch this again soon. Like, I don't need to wait a year. Like, I would watch this again.
Absolutely. I just saw him in a non-Hallmark movie, and it was a Christmas movie. I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I can't think of it. And he wears glasses in it, Meredith. Just so you, yeah, just so you know. So, um, coming up for the Hunks and Glasses draft,
I
which
think it's the
is
Christmas contract.
yes, the Christmas contract. Yeah, where did I watch it on, Ernie?
Lifetime.
Thank you.
Um, my memory is Swiss cheese, so I'm IMDbing all these that are coming up because I need a little reminder. So I just pulled them up. So
I like that better than you're peeping through Lynn's window watching to see where she's watching things.
Well, we've taken a turn here. Maybe I'll leave it in, people. I don't know. See how it plays in the playback.
once it's out in the ether, you never get it back.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, we know that for sure.
I was
Stephanie.
outside Lynn's window and I didn't see Ernie.
I'm sad no one invited me.
I've been taking lessons from Mary Beth.
Oh, from Beth Ann.
Oh, Beth Ann. Yeah, I'm sorry. See, my memory shot.
So funny. Stephanie, rescue us. What did you think of An Unexpected Valentine?
I loved it. Well, and I should say this is the only new movie from 2025 that I've watched. And so it was such a delight. I've been a fan of Robert Buckley since One Tree Hill. I've enjoyed all of his movies on Hallmark. So I agree with Ernie. I really hope that he becomes more of a Hallmark staple and star on the network. And I agree, Lacey, when she gets to be funny, is the best Lacey. Shout out Gretchen Wieners in Mean Girls. Now it's over 20 years ago.
Oh, God.
But I'm a big fan of Lacey too. So this was just so much fun to watch. I also had it high on my list.
Erinbeth, you liked this movie too, didn't you?
I did. I believe I was texted you while I was watching it, and I'm like, I'm watching the new Lacey movie. It is so cute. I really enjoyed it. And it's hard for me during the drafts when I see a new movie like that because there's always that recency bias. And it's like, do I like this movie because it's the first time I've seen it and I just saw it? Or do I really like this movie? And I really liked the movie. It was cute and it is one I will rewatch again.
Yeah, I want to watch it again on Valentine's Day because I
Oh,
looked
that'd
at
be a good one.
Hallmark's schedule and I didn't see any Valentine movies airing on Valentine's Day. I didn't see a theme
Oh,
there.
did the
So
intern set the schedule for Valentine's Day on
I don't
Hallmark?
know. I don't know. I will fact check myself, so I might edit that out, but I did just look and I didn't see anything there. So missed opportunity. Anyway, okay. Number 4, here we are. Here's where the rubber meets the road. But again, it's Alicia's world and we're just living in it for these movies. Ernie, what are you going to play at number 4? This is your next to last pick.
This is one movie that, again, I was surprised is as high on my list as it is, but another one where I love the female lead. I am playing at number 4, The Story of Us.
The Story of Us from 2019. We have Maggie Lawson is Jamie. Sam Page is Sawyer. Small town bookstore owner Jamie learns that Her and other struggling local businesses face closure by a powerful property developer led by architect and former Flame Sawyer. As Valentine's Day approaches and closures seem imminent, Jamie must not only hatch a heartfelt plan to save her beloved bookstore, but she also must sort out her past feelings for Sawyer. Tracy Andreen co-wrote this. There's a Tracy Andreen draft scheduled for 2026. Marco Grassini is in this as well. And it's got my boy, Sam Page. I love you, Ernie. Why do you love this movie at number 4?
Well, Sam Page has to be on this list because he's been in the most. But Maggie Lawson to me, and I use it a lot. I love watching this stuff that she's in, and her and Sam Page are great on the screen together. It's one of those movies that I wish it was a little funnier, but it's one of those that when I watch it, I finish and I'm smiling, I'm happy, that kind of thing. So yeah, I like it here.
I like Maggie Lawson in Psych. Are you a Psych fan? Did you watch that series?
No, I haven't watched it. It was something else that she was in that I saw her and fell in love with her. Anytime that I can see her on screen, I'm happy that she's in it. I would hope that she is in more. I know she was just in Sugar Plum this year. She was in the Evergreen movies. So I really just like her. She's got a great way of, doing things, and it's fun.
Beautifully said. But will Alicia agree with you? Alicia, The Story of Us, the first Sam Page movie to make it onto the list. Here we are at number 4. Just hashtag justice for Sam Page. I dare you.
No, I won't veto it. It's in my top 10. It's number 10. I don't want to waste. I'm fearing there are some ones that I will just really not like in the next few slots. So I need to save them. I liked it. I thought both leads were great. I love Maggie Lawson from Psych too. She's a cat lady, which I love because I'm a cat lady. I love the bookstore setting. Um, I thought they had good chemistry. I didn't like the typical, misconstrued physical touch with I think was it her ex or whatever? I don't know. That was kind of like, but yeah, I liked it. It's in my top 10, so yeah, I'm
Okay, well,
fine with it here.
Alicia is holding on to those 2 vetoes still. So The Story of Us will be number 4. Meredith, did you like this movie? Tell me what you think of Sam Page. Be honest.
Sam Page is good. He has a, yeah, his face is good. His acting is good. It's good. I think it's interesting. I do love Psych and I love Maggie Lawson on that, but I tend to not love her Hallmark movies. I feel like, except this one, I think was better than the ones that I've seen of hers. It wasn't in my top 10, but honestly, that could be a casualty of it being in the last 6 movies that I watched. So, um,
Did you watch this
I'm
at,
fine.
yeah, did you watch this at 1.5 speed or 3 times
Yes.
speed or yeah?
Yeah, yeah, 1.5 for sure. Um, they speak very well though. They really enunciate because I could actually hear what they were saying. Um, so I don't think I would love it to be this high, but it's not offensive to me that it is.
Meredith is not offended by the placement of The Story of Us at number 4. Well, Meredith, while you're thinking of what you're going to play at number 3, I'm going to ask my friend Stephanie. I'm going to look right into the camera, Stephanie. What do you think of this Sam Page movie at number 4? The Story of Us.
So it's okay. I wouldn't say so I like Sam Page, particularly in Christmas in Rome. That's my favorite of his movies, with Lacey. But not gonna lie, I didn't love all the Sam Page movies that were for this draft. So only one made it into my top 10.
Did it
This
have a
was not
dog?
it. This was not it, and it was not about a dog.
Aaron
So
Beth, what do you think of The Story of Us?
Of the 3 Sam Page movies that were given to us, it did rank the highest, and it ranked number 12. So it wasn't even like it was so far out of my top 10. Um, of the two where he was the big baddie, big city, it was the best one. I can take Sam Page or leave him, and you know that, Lynn. So that does not come as a surprise. He's not one that I'm going to seek out his movies. However, I did let cue you into walking the dogs, so I should get a point there.
You're a page turner, that's for sure.
I
You know,
love it.
but I'm glad
Are
that
you a card carrying
yes,
page turner?
you are a card carrying page turner. Turn that page. Turn it over. I love Sam Page. I think he's great. I loved him in Mad Men. His character was so despicable, but he did such a good job at making me hate him there. So good job. Justice for Sam Page. Sam Page at number 4. Meredith, this is your final pick. Number 3. You've been thinking hard. I could see it in your face. What have you chosen? It's a difficult one.
This is a sticky situation because I think, okay, I'm going to put myself in the hands of my other two drafters and trust that they will draft the right movies in the next two categories or next two slots. I think they will. So for that reason, I'm not going to switch things around and I'm going to go ahead and play The Lost Valentine for number 4. Is that right? This is number 4?
3.
Oh, wait a minute. Is it too late for me to change my mind?
No.
Yeah, then forget that. Number 3, Sweeter Than Chocolate. So it is a sticky situation because of chocolate.
Sweeter Than Chocolate. Okay. Sweeter Than Chocolate from 2023. It's Eloise Mumford is Lucy. Dan Jeanette is Dean. Carrying on the legacy of her grandfather, Lucy Sweet is the master chocolatier at How Sweet It Is. The business is facing a massive rent increase, and Lucy and her mom believe the way out of their financial predicament is the chocolate Cupid, a confection with a legend that eating it will lead to true love for those whose hearts are open to it. Dean Chase, a TV reporter, arrives to cover the legend of the chocolate Cupid. That's Dan Jeanette. Will his presence help or hinder the business and Lucy falling in love? Meredith, tell us why you particularly like Sweeter Than Chocolate at number 3.
Yeah, they have really great chemistry, Dan Jeanette and Eloise Mumford. I've always loved her movies. She's very endearing, excellent actress, and the two of them together. Now, like Alicia's got me thinking about like the stare, the look, and Dan Jeanette just does that very well. They both have very soulful eyes. You do believe they're falling in love, and he's got this great smile, and I just think they both need to be in more things, on Hallmark or elsewhere, but it's just really sweet, and the storyline is nice, and getting to see all the different little vignettes of other people's love stories was fun, and chocolate. It's great. So this is, yeah, I love this one.
Yeah, and Bissinger's Chocolates does sell the Cupid's chocolates. I just got their brochure in the mail, and it's branded as Hallmark. So, what's not to love, Alicia? What's not to love at Sweeter Than Chocolate at number 3? I can't read your facial expression.
Oh, I love it. I'm gonna keep it here. It's my number one. Tracy and Jean is always top tier. It was emotional. Eloise, I wrote always on the verge of tears. I like that there's a little bit of kind of, magic. I love time travel, time loops. I love a little bit of magic. Um, I thought it was sweet and kind of sexy. I mean, dancing out there at the end. So yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't
I would
want,
have rioted it if it hadn't made it into the top 10.
who doesn't want a little bomb chicky bomb bomb at a chocolate store? I mean, with Dan Jeanette, it's just perfect. I don't know. God, was that out loud? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ernie. What do you think of this movie, Sweeter Than Chocolate, for at number 3?
Well, this was number 2 on my list. I love this movie. If you want to see more of Eloise Mumford, check out the TV series Cross. She is in that doing a very, 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 very different character in that, and she is amazing in that series. It's a limited series. I don't know where it is, but you can look it up. It's based on the Alex Cross series of books. I love her. This is wonderful. I'm great. I'm good. I'm happy.
Ernie's happy.
And
Stephanie, are
like
you
Meredith
happy?
said, chocolate.
Chocolate. Stephanie, are you happy with this?
I am thrilled. I love this movie. I remember this was, I think, maybe the first Dan Jeannotte movie I saw. I have nothing to add. It's great. Everything everyone else said.
Anjanette and chocolate. What more is there? And Eloise Mumford. Okay, great. So, Ernie, your final pick. That was Meredith's final pick. Ernie at number two. I think we know what you're going to play, but let's hear it from you.
I'm
What?
scared. With Alicia's two vetoes here. But yes, I am going to play The Lost Valentine here because I need it on the list. I think it is the best of these movies. Like I said before, I think it is one of the best Betty White performances I have ever seen. And the scenes that she is in and some of those movements and just little things that she does just stick in your mind. I love it.
Ernie, my heart is racing for you because Alicia is refusing to make eye contact with anyone during your very passionate speech. Now she's
I'm trying.
laughing. I
I'm
know. Now
trying to
she's
sway her, but I know it's
she's
going to be
doing
close.
everything. She's doing everything except rubbing her hands gleefully together and twirling a mustache that she doesn't have. Alicia, what are you going to do? The Lost Valentine at number two. It was played first at number eight by you. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, it's too high for my tastes. But I mean, I get to pick number one, so and I'm afraid that if I did veto it, well, one, Meredith could override it, and then I'd be afraid of like what what would be the other pick because of the other movies. Be My Valentine is the only other one that hasn't been chosen that's higher. So, yeah,
Well,
I'll keep the line.
if you veto it and if Meredith overrides the veto, then it stays at number two. Ernie doesn't pick anything
Oh,
else. That's what the
oh,
override
okay.
does. It would lock it
Oh,
in.
okay.
So you
We could
could
just
use
do
Then
a
yeah,
perfunctory one so I could get rid of one override, you know?
nah.
that was a nah. Okay. All right. So it's going to stay on the list, right? At number two? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
That's number two. Meredith, Meredith with three veto overrides. But the good news is you can only carry over two vetoes or veto overrides into your next match. So that third one, it will not weigh you down anymore if it ends up that you still have it after number one. Do you like The Lost Valentine? This is a movie that typically makes many of us cry. It's so poignant. It's a beautiful love story. It's a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie. Did it make you cry? What did you think of it?
It made me do an Eloise Mumford in my eyes, so almost crying. Um, yeah, I hadn't seen it before. I kind of had lower expectations just because it was older. But then it was great because of Betty White and obviously it has a more intricate storyline than most. It just felt like it had more prestige because of Betty and then Will Chase is randomly there as like a side character. That was weird. But I mean, yeah, I really liked it. It was moving. I think it definitely deserves to be on the list. It was my number four, so it's pretty close and I think I'm happy with it.
The Lost Valentine is at number two. Before we get to Alicia's pick at number one, here's the state of the list. At 10, My Secret Valentine. At 9, Valentine Ever After. At 8, Playing Cupid. At 7, The Secret Ingredient. At 6, Valentine's Again. At 5, An Unexpected Valentine. At 4, The Story of Us. At 3, Sweeter Than Chocolate. At 2, The Lost Valentine. And at number one, whatever comes out of Alicia's mouth is the number one movie on this list because no one else has any veto power. What's it going to be, Alicia?
I'll choose the one that was my number two instead of choosing Be My Valentine to make everyone angry. I'm gonna choose Signed, Sealed, Delivered from the Heart.
Signed, sealed, delivered from the heart from 2016. I'm so glad you didn't choose Welcome to Valentine, the number one movie. I'm very grateful. Signed, sealed, delivered from the heart, 2016. It's Oliver, Shane, Rita, and Norman face personal challenges following Valentine's Day. Kevin Affair directed this and was one of the executive producers. on this movie as well. It was written by Martha Williamson and her frequent writing partner, Brandy Harkonnen. Lynn Stopkowicz directed this movie. It's just a beautiful, beautiful film. Tell us why you love Signed, Sealed, Delivered from the Heart. Number one on the list.
I just love everything signed, sealed, delivered. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a postable because they're like very passionate. And I'm not that passionate, but I love the movie. I love the series. I have fond memories of watching it with my late mother. I just love all the characters. I love the idea of of delivering mail that's been destroyed or missing for years and finding out that story. I didn't think that this story was because there are a couple episodes where it's super saccharine, and I didn't feel this story was that. I love the characters. My only issue with the main characters' romantic relationships is that it just is so glacially paced. It kind of drives me nuts. In one TV movie, they advance this much, and but overall, it's so warm and funny, and I think that's why I love the show. It's just it makes you feel good, and yeah, and it delivers on the comedy, which is important to me.
So you said the word passionate, and I know that you love euphemisms. So is passionate a euphemism for frisky, which would then be a euphemism for postables being horny? Can you clarify that?
No, no. In this case, you know how it's kind of internet speak where people will say something and then in parentheses will be like complimentary or derogatory. It's probably on the derogatory.
Wow.
Passionate parentheses derogatory.
All right. Well, we love postables. They're a great group. We love the signed,
You can
sealed,
send them
delivered
after me,
movies.
not you.
Really? Yes, send her the emails. Don't send them to me. Signed, sealed, delivered from the heart. Number one movie. Ernie, what are your thoughts on that?
This is one that I struggled with just because I loved Signed, Sealed, Delivered. I left it off my list. I'm kicking myself now because I at one point did have it like five or six. It just kind of went down a little bit and a little bit. And I think part of my problem may have been the amount of times I've watched this. I've probably watched this movie five or six times, which, is a little much. But I love these characters. I love the storylines. I'm not upset that it's number one, except for a points wise, but I'm not upset that it's number one.
He's not upset. What about you, Meredith? Are you a signed, sealed fan? I'd never seen a movie at all until the signed, sealed, and delivers draft last year. That was my first time ever seeing them, and I loved them.
Oh yeah, I love these movies. They're so cozy. And I loved this one, and I know I'd seen it, but I didn't remember the resolution. So I was pleased that I thought, oh, they're gonna find him, and it turns out he didn't hit anyone with his car, and they've been married all these years, which would have been fine. But it was like weightier and more meaningful what they actually did. I love the characters and the drama, the like camaraderie that they have. And yeah, th this is my number one, although I will say my top three really could be rotated and I would be happy. They were hard to choose from, but I'm very happy with this, and you can call me a postable if you want.
Well, we will. Absolutely. Great job, everybody. You did such a good job. Before we get to hearing your final list and finding out what the scores are, let's see how Erin, Beth, and Stephanie and I did with our little side hustle. Erin, Beth, how did you do? What's your personal top 10 and what was your score?
Okay, starting at number 10, I had Matching Hearts, 9, Playing Cupid, 8, Sweeter Than Chocolate, 7, Very, Very Valentine, 6, A Valentine's Match, 5, Secret Ingredient, 4, Valentine's Again, 3, Valentine in the Vineyard, 2, An Unexpected Valentine, and 1, The Lost Valentine. Um, I I was a little surprised A Valentine's Match did not make it on this list. Like no one even talked about it. It is such a cute, cute movie, and it elicited remember 5-minute tirade on shirt jacks and hardware stores from CC in the Luke McFarlane draft, and it's got Luke McFarlane in it. Can we say again? It has Luke McFarlane in it. Why isn't it on this list? But I am kind of sad there, but I scored a total of 6 in the end. So we'll just have to have everyone else read their lists, and I'll let you know where you all scored.
Okay, Stephanie, you're up. What was your personal list? And was there a movie on there that you want to say something about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
Yeah, so at number 10, I had Signed, Sealed, Delivered from the Heart. 9, All Things Valentine. 8, Valentine in the Vineyard. 7, A Valentine's Match. 6, My Secret Valentine. 5, Sweeter Than Chocolate. 4, An Unexpected Valentine. 3, Valentine's Again. 2, The Secret Ingredient. And 1, The Lost Valentine. I was also surprised A Valentine's Match wasn't on there, but also Valentine in the Vineyard. I feel
Yes.
like that's kind of a more classic Hallmark movie in the Valentine genre. It might also be just because, right, it's part of a trilogy. There's a llama involved, which makes it fun. But Brendan Penny and Rachel Lee Cook are always fantastic. And now our friend Marcus Rosner is also in it.
Right.
And so yeah, that one is also just always such a fun watch. I've seen that multiple times.
I love that movie. That's a great list. How did Stephanie do, Erinbeth?
She scored one more than me. She scored 7. With
Ooh.
that SSD coming in there at number 1.
Can I
Way to
say
go.
though, I feel like I did better now as a guest co-host with my list than I do when I actually draft. I do terrible with the list when I draft. So,
So you're great in both roles. All right, here's my list. At number 10, The Lost Valentine. At 9, The Secret Ingredient. At 8, Walking the Dog. At 7, Matching Hearts. At 6, Valentine in the Vineyard. At 5, All Things Valentine. At 4, Valentine Ever After. At 3, An Unexpected Valentine. At 2, A Valentine's Match. And at number 1, my time loop, Valentine's Again. So I would just echo what Steph and Aaron Beth have already said about Valentine in the Vineyard and Matching Hearts not being on there. Walking the Dog, come on. Sam Page, dogs, lawyers, what's not to love? That's about as good as it gets. How'd I do?
Well, you brought up the end with 5 points because you
Oh,
had walking the dog on your list.
yeah, that was a mistake, Lynn. Come on.
I, come on, really? It's a fun movie, and the dogs fall in love. What's not to love about this movie? I don't know. You
The
guys are gonna
dogs
love
are
it.
lovely, and I
Yeah,
loved the dogs.
they are the
Well,
best part of that movie.
They absolutely are.
I would have
Missed
gotten
opportunity to call it puppy love.
seriously,
What?
right?
I think there is a puppy love, though. I believe there is a Hallmark movie called Puppy Love. I'd have to look it up.
All right, let's get to the panelists. Let's hear your personal top 10 list. Meredith, what was your personal top 10 list that you turned in for scoring?
Okay, mine was number 10, My Secret Valentine, 9, Valentine Ever After, 8, Walking the Dog, 7, The Secret Ingredient, 6, Valentine in the Vineyard, 5, All Things Valentine, 4, The Lost Valentine, 3, Sweeter Than Chocolate, 2, An Unexpected Valentine, and 1, Signed, Sealed, Delivered from the Heart.
Great list. Alicia, what was your personal top 10 list that you turned in?
Number 10, The Story of Us. Number 9, Playing Cupid. Number 8, The Lost Valentine. Number 7, Be My Valentine. Number 6, Valentine Ever After. Number 5, My Secret Valentine. Number 4, An Unexpected Valentine. Number 3, Valentine's Again. Number 2, Signed, Sealed, Delivered from the Heart. Number 1, Sweeter Than Chocolate.
Is there another movie that you want to talk about that didn't make the list?
No, because 9 out of my 10 made the list.
Ah,
So
brag much? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Meredith, was there anything on your list that you didn't get a chance to talk about that you wanted to mention?
I'm a little surprised that All Things Valentine didn't make it onto the collective top 10. I hadn't seen it. I thought it was good. It was interesting, the storylines. It wasn't quite as straightforward, or it wasn't quite as like standard as the Hallmark movies of that time. And I think that Sarah Rafferty, she was great. I would like to see her in more of these movies.
Yeah, that was number 5 on my list. Of course, Sam Page is in it. Kimberly Sustad's in that movie too. She's in a supporting role. It's a good movie. Okay. All right, Ernie, let's hear it. What was your personal top 10 list?
All right. Well, all 3 of the surprise ones are on my list, but Alicia messed me up at number 8, so I'm going to blame it all on her. I got number 10 was Matching Hearts, 9 Valentine Ever After, 8 A Valentine's Match, 7 All Things Valentine, 6 My Secret Valentine, 5 Valentines Again, 4 The Story of Us, 3 An Unexpected Valentine, 2 Sweeter Than Chocolate, and to no surprise, number 1 The Lost Valentine.
The Lost Valentine. Great list. All right, Erinbeth, don't keep us in suspense. We already heard Alicia bragging about, oh, I got 9 points. Did anyone beat her? What were the scores?
Well, they all did really well. For his first time out, Ernie scored 2 in the positions in which they were ranked, for a total, plus his other ones, for a total of 9 points.
Ooh.
And as Alicia said before, she scored all but one of her movies. However, none of them were placed in the correct spots. So she had a total of 9 points. Be My Valentine, the one that was vetoed, the only one that did not get a point for her. Meredith had 4 scored in the final ranking positions, which saved her, and she scored 11 points. So Meredith is our winner for today.
What did I
Yay.
Yeah.
My parents will be proud of me. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happened.
It was those ones that scored in the right places.
Wow.
Meredith?
I'd like to thank the Academy.
Yeah, Meredith, that means you're eligible for the 2025 Championship Tournament of Champions. Not only does she have 11 points, she's got clean floors. Is there anything better? That's like a double win. That's a
Clean
double win
floors
there.
and 2 overrides to take with her to the next.
Poor Meredith. I'll have to look to see when you're drafting again, Meredith, so we can try to lighten your load with those. Thank you all for doing this. This was such a blast. Listeners, be sure to follow Hallmark Movie Drafts wherever you get your pods. It literally is available everywhere. And please subscribe to our new YouTube channel. Meet up with us on our Instagram. We love hearing what your top 10s would have been, what your thoughts are on the lists here that are drafted. Still to come in February, the championship round of the 2024 Hallmark Movie Drafts Tournament of Champions. So Cece, Jenna, and Kate are going to face off drafting a top 10 list of Hallmark movies based on 10 different movie categories. It's a twist on the usual drafting format that we just did here. Check out the Instagram to see what those 10 categories are going to be. And then in March, it's our Mystery Series Movies draft, and it's based on the premiere movies only of any mystery movie series on Hallmark that had more than 2 episodes airing. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a very opinionated panel, so it's going to be super interesting and I'm sure quite chaotic. So, once more, for the final time, this is the singular definitive list of the 10 best Valentine-themed Hallmark movies as drafted by Alicia, Meredith, and Ernie. Here we go. At 10, My Secret Valentine. At 9, Valentine Ever After. At 8, Playing Cupid. At 7, The Secret Ingredient. At 6, Valentine's Again. At 5, An Unexpected Valentine. At 4, The Story of Us. At 3, Sweeter Than Chocolate. At 2, The Lost Valentine. And at number 1, Signed, Sealed, and Delivered from the Heart. Great job, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's all say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Happy Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Valentine's Day.
Chocolate.
Justice for Sam Page. Hallmark Movie Drafts is a monthly production. Stephanie Preschel creates the movie synopses using descriptions from IMDb or Hallmark.com as a base. Kate Baca vets the list of eligible movies and manages our Letterboxd account called Hallmark Drafts, where you'll find the list of eligible movies for each show, as well as the final top 10 lists and the panelists who drafted them. Erinbeth Cermak creates the Where to Watch lists and the Trivia Round questions, and along with Stephanie and Kate, provides additional creative, research, and hosting support. I'm Lynn Austin. I'm the showrunner, producer, and host. I staff the panels, create the show topics, manage the production schedule and the HMD socials, and edit and publish the podcast. Intro and outro music is provided courtesy of Amato Zapana. Thank you to the Deck the Hallmark Double-Deckers, who share their passionate opinions on these Hallmark movies that we love, or maybe not love, so much.